Mr. Davis.
Eric, I'll wait till she starts. Can I run to the
Welcome back, ladies
bathroom?
and gentlemen. We are ready for the continuation of the evidence from the state.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. McMichael, my name is Linda Dunikoski. If you can't hear me or I ask you a question you don't understand, let me know, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you just testified under oath that you're not going to chase or investigate someone who is armed. That's correct, right?
Yes.
All right. And not once during your direct examination did you state that your intention was to effectuate an arrest of Mr. Arbery until your attorney asked you that leading question. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. And Kim Ballesteros, you know her from the neighborhood, right?
I do.
She lives down the street?
Yes.
Okay. And you know that she had her purse stolen on January 29th of 2019, right?
I was under the impression that it was in the summertime.
Okay. And you understand that she posted this to Facebook on January 30th, 2019, all about the fact that she left her car unlocked and somebody went into it and stole her purse.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
It sounds familiar. I knew that it was under assumption that it was under her car, so yeah, that's probably all right.
Do you remember that you posted in response to that?
I do not.
Do you remember that your post was playing with fire on this side of the neighborhood?
Yes.
Now, you talked about crime in Satilla Shores, but isn't it true that Satilla Shores only had one burglary call in all of 2019 and it was a false alarm?
I heard that there were several burglaries from my mother and then from hearing from the other neighbors, and then seeing a burglary on the Facebook page. That was what that I was heard about the neighborhood.
So you're telling this jury that what you heard was rumor from other people?
It was what I was told from my mother and seeing on Facebook and from the neighbors.
Okay, so you don't know this from the police, that's correct?
I didn't hear it from the police, no.
Okay. And so you understand that there were only 4 entering auto complaints in all of 2019 in Satilla Shores.
I knew that there were several entering autos, yes ma'am.
Okay, so we have Kim Ballesteros, and she was in January, right?
That's what she said, yes ma'am.
Okay. And then we have the Herndons, and they were in December, like December 7th or 8th of 2019. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And the Herndons had left their car unlocked in their driveway, and it was the white guy who had come up and gone into it, right?
I didn't know that the vehicle was unlocked or the race of who was suspected. I just knew that they had stuff stolen from their vehicle.
So it's fair to say you had incomplete information about who was committing the crimes in Satilla Shores?
Yes.
Okay. So the information you had being incomplete, you started making assumptions about who must be doing this, right?
I didn't make assumptions at that point until February 11th when I saw what I saw on that evening.
And then you assumed this must be the person responsible for all the crime within Satilla Shores.
I was under assumption that having Mr. Arbery being seen multiple times on the video on 220 Satilla Drive and the stuff stolen out of that house, that he has continued to come back to that house and to be, I guess, as brazen as after I've witnessed him go through that yard and look to be creeping and coming in, and then putting the lights on him, and then him acting like he was armed under the way that he reached for his pants, and then ran into that house, and then walking around afterwards, seeing that and knowing that he saw me, that I saw him, and then he continued to go on, and that he's been there several times, led me to believe that, yes, that these burglaries that I've been hearing about and that I knew about at 220 could have been him, because I saw him, and then this is verified from the police and from the videos from that evening and from talking to Officer Rash and Mr. Al Benzie that they've seen him as well, that, yeah, this is a probability that this is the guy.
So let's go ahead and break that down, okay? Your mom and dad, well, your father especially, told you that Officer Rash had stopped by, correct?
On the 11th?
No, I'm sorry, bad question. You understand that Officer Rash, in December, met with your father and told him about the fact that Mr. English had items stolen off of his boat and Mr. English suspected his subcontractors.
I didn't know where my dad got that information. I did not
Okay.
know that it came from Rash. And I believe it was my mother that told me that. And then my dad started repeating it afterwards. But it was my mother that was the first one.
Okay, so your mom told you that Larry English had items stolen off of his boat and suspected his subcontractors, correct?
No, there was stuff stolen off the boat. And that then when she said that, there has been people in this house. I didn't know who stole it, but I just know that they have been people in that house, verified that people have been in the house, and then there's been stuff been stolen.
And that's multiple people in the house, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so not just Mr. Arbery.
that's correct.
Okay. So you knew about the white couple who had gone in.
I knew that there was several people. I didn't know race. I didn't know couple. I just knew that there's been several people seen at that house at that time.
So several different people in your mind had been going into that open, unsecured construction site during this period of time.
That's correct.
So any one of these people could be the people who had taken the items off of Larry English's boat.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to ask you about July 13th and the man who's homeless under the bridge,
Yes.
white, black, Asian, Hispanic.
He was white.
Okay. And then you talked about the ATM situation. That was when, in 2008?
2008.
Okay. City of Pascagoula?
It was.
Pascagoula.
Pascagoula.
Thank you, Pascagoula. City of Pascagoula. Did you report that at that time?
I did not.
And the two people who had come up to you, black, white, Asian, Hispanic?
They were black.
And now in 11, you said, some guy attempted to get into your car.
Mhm.
Was this person black, white, Asian, Hispanic?
He was white.
Did he appear to be homeless?
No.
Okay.
No, he did not.
Did he appear to be a worker?
He seemed to be strung out, I would say. It was quick. It was night.
And you did not report it to the police or the city of Pascagoula?
Jackson County Sheriff's Department. I contacted a coworker and let him know what was going on, what happened, where I was at. And he said, yeah, we'll go check a scene on it. I didn't call emergency line, or I called deputy sheriff, a friend of mine.
Okay, so you had a friend who then went and checked it out, so no
I
police
believe he
report?
did. I thought he made a report.
So when we're looking here, once again, at State's Exhibit 147, Mr. Sheffield played part of it for you earlier. Do you remember that?
Which one was it?
This is your father's July 13th, 2019 911 call.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so I think we got about 1 minute into it.
And my son and I just discovered a guy. We think he may be living on the Bluff Creek Bridge on 17. We just went up there and made contact with him. Real shady-looking fella. And he, possibility he may be the one that's been breaking into all these automobiles out there at night. Just wanted to make somebody aware there was somebody living under there.
Was that the remainder of the call where he called the guy under the bridge a shady-looking guy?
Seems there's a few more to it, but yeah, I mean, that was continuing of that audio, obviously.
And you made contact with the shady-looking white guy under the fancy bluff bridge while armed, correct?
I did, yes, ma'am.
And your father had his gun on him too, correct?
I believe he did. I would assume he did, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you brandish and show your weapons to the man?
I did not.
This was just some sort of pleasant conversation with the homeless guy under the bridge, is what you're telling this jury.
Yeah, it came pleasant. Once I split between him and the machete that he had there, and asked him what's going, how's he doing, what's going on. He stayed right where he was and continued to fish, and I didn't see a threat.
Okay. But your dad still decided afterwards to call 911.
Yes,
Not before.
we walked up on the guy. We didn't. Once we investigated, once we saw that there was somebody there and what was happening, yeah, we still called to let the police know what's going on.
You took it upon yourselves to go ahead and investigate it, correct?
Yeah, yes, we did.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about your time in the Coast Guard. So in the Coast Guard, when you first start out, it's E1, E2, E3, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you become a petty officer at E4.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, within the petty officer category, it goes all the way up to like E9.
E9.
And then you can go all the way up to warrant officer, correct?
Can't.
All right. And you had been in for about 9 years?
Yeah, 9 and some change. Yes, ma'am.
Right. So you had to do standard recruit training in 2007.
Yes.
And then machinery technician training from April 14th of 2008 to July 3rd of 2008.
That sounds right.
And then July 13th through August 13th of 2009, basic boarding officer, correct?
Yes.
And the basic boarding officer, do you take that when you become an E4 or
No.
before that?
No, you take it after you become E4. If the commanding officer decides that you would be a good candidate to go to it, it's not mandatory.
And then in 2010, from August 2nd, 2010 through September 10th, 2010, you had air conditioning and refrigeration classes during that period of time.
I did.
All right, so when you left the Coast Guard, your rank was still E4, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is a machinery technician.
That was the rate. Yes, or yes, the rate. The rank was E4. Yes, ma'am.
So back in 2009, when you taken your basic boarding officer classes, you understood what the Fifth Amendment was, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The right to remain silent.
That's correct.
And you heard Jason Seacrest testify that law enforcement cannot force anyone to speak with them.
That's right.
Okay, so you learned as part of your time in the military that you can't force people to speak with you.
That's correct.
Okay, and that if someone walks away, you have to let them walk away.
Yes.
In fact, you were trained that displaying a weapon may be considered psychological coercion, which is prohibited by the courts, and as a law enforcement officer may be grounds for suppressing evidence. Isn't that what you were taught?
Under certain situations, yes, ma'am.
In addition, you were also taught that the best weapons retention technique is to not make your weapon accessible to anyone, right?
Under certain situations, yes, ma'am.
And you were also taught about the deadly force triangle, correct?
Yes.
And you were taught that deadly force is only to be used as a last resort, correct?
That's correct.
Are these in evidence?
No, I can tender it if you'd like me to.
Before you show it to the jury, you might want to follow the rules of procedure. I object, Your Honor, then. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Sheffield. I apologize. If I could see the exhibits that counsel wishes to tender, that would be helpful. This is it?
That's it?
You intend to mark it?
Yes, I was showing it to you.
Thank you.
I'm going to mark this as 414. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Mr. McMichael, I'm going to show you what has been marked as 414. You recognize that?
I do, yes, ma'am.
All right, this time the state would tender to evidence, State's Exhibit 414.
Objection, thank you.
No.
No objection.
Submitted.
All right, so this was one of the PowerPoint slides you were shown as part of the deadly force triangle, and deadly force is only to be used as a last resort, correct?
That's correct.
You were also trained never to point a firearm at someone unless you intended to use it, is that correct?
Under certain situations, yeah, yes, and then under certain situations, it could be used as a deterrent.
All right, so what I'm going to do now is talk about what happened on the 23rd of February, okay, of 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let's go ahead and start at the moment your dad kind of came running into the house. He was yelling for you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, he yelled that the guy from the other night was running down the road.
Yes.
And you understood that he was talking about the black man that you had seen go into the open unsecured construction site 12 days beforehand on February 11th.
He said the guy that had been breaking into the house just ran by. So yes, that was what I was thinking at the time.
Okay. And your father ran into his bedroom to get his .357 Magnum revolver.
Yes, where it was, yes, ma'am.
Right. And I want to be real clear. He didn't say he'd seen the man breaking into the house.
No,
Just that he'd seen the man running down the street.
that has been breaking in the house, is what he said. Yes, ma'am.
And you hadn't seen the black man in the 12 days between February 11th and February 23rd, had you?
I did not.
And at this time, you were working at Metz and Marine,
I was.
and your hours were really early in the morning to about 5 at night?
It depended on what was going on. It was usually 5 to 1 or 2 in the evening, but it could change so much.
All right, so I just want to be clear. 5 o'clock in the morning to 1 or 2 in the afternoon, or are you talking 5 p.m. to 1 or 2 at
5
midnight?
a.m. to 1 p.m. sometimes.
All right, so on February 23rd, 2020, when your dad came in and yelled for you, you didn't know where the black man was coming from.
I had an idea, because he said running down the road, the guy that's been breaking in. I've never seen him before. I've kind of had an idea that maybe he's coming from 220. But I'm just going to go out and check out and see what's going on.
But your dad just said he's running down the road, correct?
Yes,
And you didn't know where he was going when he was running down the road.
I did not.
All right. And you had no idea what he'd actually been doing that day.
Not at that time, no.
But what you did know at that point in time was that Mr. Arbery had been at the open unsecured construction site on February 11th. Is that right?
Yes,
And you knew about 2 other times, is that correct?
I knew that he's been there several times, 2 other times, and that stuff has been stolen out of there. And then the way that he reacted to me on the 11th was the thought that was in my mind.
Okay. Now, you didn't suspect him of having stolen your handgun out of your car 54 days earlier, did you?
No, I have no idea who did that.
Did you tell Diego Perez that you knew who did it?
No, I didn't.
Did you indicate to Diego Perez you had a good idea who was a good suspect in the neighborhood who had done it?
To Diego? No, I did not.
Did Diego Perez actually show you the videos from his house to see if anyone was going up and down, cars or people?
On the 1st? When
When
my
you-
pistol
yes.
was stolen. So I walked around, I started noticing everybody had these things, so I saw that Diego's house had cameras while I was waiting on the police to come to make the report. That's the first day I met Diego. And I asked him if there was any, if he had any footage from this morning, because I had a pistol stolen. And I asked if I can have his thumb drive. And I got his thumb drive and looked through, and I didn't see anybody. Saw a couple of trucks that were that I've never seen before that had me wonder a little bit, but I didn't see anybody on there.
Okay, so you're saying that Diego Perez actually gave you a thumb drive with these videos on them?
Yes,
Okay. Isn't it true that you stood there with Diego Perez and looked at the videos with him at the same time?
no, I took it home with me.
So while watching, you weren't with Diego Perez watching the videos when you said to Diego Perez, I think I know who did this.
I never said that to Diego Perez.
All right, so let's go ahead and go back to February 23rd, 2020, okay? So when you set out with your father, your goal was to go ahead and just talk to Mr. Arbery.
Yes, to verify if it was the same individual I saw on the 11th.
So basically, ID him.
I was going to ID him, and then, yes.
All right. And at that point in time, when your dad came running and he was all excited, you know, there goes the guy running down the street, you didn't call 911.
I did not.
All right. Did you tell your dad to call 911?
I asked him if he did. I was thinking that, I asked him, have you called 911? Because he comes running in. I thought that he was already on the phone with him or had contacted because he was outside. And he said yes. So I assumed that that the police had been called at that point.
All right. You made a statement to Detective Nohilly hours after this incident, correct?
I did.
Okay. You never told him that you thought your dad had already called 911.
I told him that I believed 911 was called. I don't know exactly what I said, but I believe I did tell him that I was under the impression that my father had called 911.
Do you remember on about page 9 of your transcript telling Detective Nohilly that Mr. Arbery's running, he won't stop? I said, that's him. Stop right there, stop where you're at, and then you turned to your father and said, call the cops, you know, there he is.
Your Honor, if we could show him the transcript.
Yeah, if I can have a picture.
Yeah. She's asking about page 9 of the transcript. I don't think he's been shown the transcript.
Let me ask you this, do you recall telling Detective Nohilly that?
I'd like to see the transcript, see exactly what I said.
She asked him whether he recalled it, said no, so she's getting the transcript.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's the very top, that's why I couldn't see it. Take a look at the very top, first couple lines.
Yes, I did say that.
So at this point in time, it's fair to say that you're in the car on Burford with your dad, and you're instructing him at this point in time to call the cops, because there he is.
Like I said earlier on the first, I was all over the place in this statement. I said that to Officer Nohealy, but at the time, I was still, what's the best way? I was still under the influence of what happened. This was only 2 hours after the most traumatic experience of my life. I'm trying to give them as much information as I can. So from reading these transcripts, I realized that I was scatterbrained everywhere. When I said the whole paragraph, so pull up to him and say, hey, you know what's going on. He's running. He won't stop. I said, that's him. Stop right there. Stop right. Call the cops. You know, there he is. Starts acting funny. Takes off running. I'm all over the place. I'm trying to explain what's going on, but yes, I said it, but I don't think I was intending to say, there he is. Hey, you call the cops. It was the same timing of the situation, kind of muddled together.
So let's go back to the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Your father runs in, grabs his .357 Magnum, and you automatically grab your shotgun.
That is the closest weapon I had. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, with that particular shotgun that we have in evidence, you saw that, correct?
Yes.
And you were here when Brian Leopard testified,
I
correct?
was. Yes, ma'am.
And it was loaded with 7 shotgun shells, correct?
Yes, I believe so. Was.
All right. So all you had to do was take the safety off and pull the trigger in order to kill someone, correct?
To shoot it was all I had to do was I kept all my shotguns, the action bar lock disengaged, the action down halfway and off on safety for more protective safety. So yeah, it was loaded if that's what you're asking.
No, I was asking, all you had to do to shoot and kill someone was take the safety off and pull the trigger.
No, take the safety off and then push the action bar lock up.
And you did both those things in order to kill Mr. Arbery.
When he was on top of me, I disengaged the safety, pulled the trigger. Yes, ma'am.
So now, when your dad comes running in, he's all excited. You didn't stop him and tell him to calm down, did you?
No.
No. So this is, oh, go ahead.
No, but I was trying to find out what was going on. I was trying to find out the situation. If I walked outside and I didn't see our neighbor that was aware of February 11th and knew that the guy that we're suspecting has been in this house several times, ran by, was pointing down the road, then yes, I said, Dad, calm down. Let's calm down. But the totality of the circumstance and everything that happened the 11th, knowing that there was stuff stolen out of that house, that he has been continually breaking into this house, and then he just ran into the neighborhood with the neighbor pointing down the road, that led me to believe there's probable cause that something has happened down there. Something has happened with this guy again. Let's see what happened. Let me make sure everybody's okay. It's identified.
All right, so you just said, based on everything, you think something had happened.
Yes, ma'am.
But you had no idea what had happened.
At that time, no, ma'am.
All right. And at this point in time, you tell this jury that your father had suffered a couple heart attacks, a stroke, and a hip replacement.
Yes, ma'am.
And you grabbed your shotgun and walked outside with it, and that's when you saw Mr. Albenzi.
Yes, ma'am.
So you'd already made the decision inside the house to go with your father to go track down Mr. Arbery.
Made a decision to find out why he was so excited, what was going on at the time. I walked outside to analyze the situation to see why my father, who's had 2 heart attacks, a stroke, and a complete hip replacement, why he's so excited, what caused him to be in this state of mind? What happened? What has happened? It's not something that happens every day. So yeah, I was alarmed. I'm gonna go out there and see what happened, investigate what's going on.
You took your shotgun with you out there,
I did.
and you didn't tell your dad to go back in the house.
I didn't see him at that point. He ran off into the back of his room.
So when you got out there and you saw Mr. Albenze, you didn't say, Dad, go back in the house, we're not going to do this, we're going to call 911.
I've told him, when he jumped in the truck, when I asked him to call 911, I wanted to make sure that everything was okay, to see what was happening, to verify, to see if it's the same guy. If it was going down the road and if it was not the same one, then yes, I would, all right, this is not the same guy. This is a misidentification. This isn't the guy that police have been looking for and has been breaking in his house. This stuff has been stolen in. It was continuing on, but as we went down and identified him, that yes, this is him. Let's try to hold him for the police, talk to him.
Didn't you tell this jury that you assumed your father was correct, and that's why you got your shotgun?
Yes.
All right. And Defendant's Exhibit 14.
It was on the table. Maybe I collected it. Let me look.
Your son was inside the house, correct?
He was.
And this car seat was in the car.
Yes.
So when you get in the car and Greg McMichael goes to get in the car, this doesn't stop the two of you. The car seat being there and going, well, you know, Dad, we really can't do this. The car seat's there. Let's just call the police.
It did not. He kept saying, you go down there, go down there. Like I said, seeing the neighbor down there, seeing how he acted on the 11th, like he was brandishing a weapon, I don't know what's happened. I don't know if somebody got hurt. I don't know what happened. I'm just going to go down and investigate. It was.
So you're going to go down and investigate, even though you testified, you're not going to chase or investigate someone who is armed,
I
correct?
don't know if he was armed or not. I don't know if he was armed or not. Just go and look. I'm not going to just look at the totality of the circumstance. It's not stop him to the point and say, you know, are you armed, or if he had a gun or anything, I would have backed off. I just wanted to go and see what's going on. That was all it was at that point.
You didn't tell your dad this is a really, really bad idea that could go really wrong for us and we should just stay here and call 911. You didn't say that, did you?
I didn't.
Now, when you got inside the truck, you had your phone with you.
Yeah, yes, I had my phone.
And you didn't call 911 at that point.
I did not.
And you didn't give it to your dad to call 911 at that point.
No, because I thought that he had called 911 and he had his phone at the time.
Would this be a good stopping point, Judge?
Yeah, well, we can stop here.
I'm just looking for a natural break. And I thought
Okay,
this might
if
be
it's a
good
natural
place.
break in the testimony, if you're going to move to another area then?